So in just a second, I'm going to open up the breakout room or the breakout rooms, and you are going to breakout room one, ignore the screen here, okay? Breakout room one, you guys are going to have the Civil War Scout and the Spy bucket. That's going to be your bucket. If you're in breakout room two, you're going to be the caregiver. So once again, breakout room one, you're taking on Civil War Scout slash Spy. And breakout room two, you're going to be the caregiver. And I'll try to write that in the breakout room too, so you don't forget. In this particular thrash out, there's lots of different ways to do a thrash out. You could do a fishbowl activity, a Socrative smackdown. You can do all sorts of things, but we're going to do a very traditional thrash out, and we're going to do this in rounds. So in the first round, you're going to have 5 minutes in your breakout room. I will go ahead and project this slide into the breakout room, but feel free to take a screenshot. But the first thing I want you all to do is do a quick round robin and share one reason, right, for that particular claim. And your claim might be that Harriet Tubman's greatest achievement is her work after the Civil War as a caregiver. So come up with some evidence for that claim. So a quick round robin, okay? Now, normally with the kids, I let them pick the room. I let them pick the position that they're going to take. But for today, I'm going to assign you a position because we're teachers. We can argue for anything. Then your second job is to pick a speaker, a spokesperson for this round. And then the rest of the time, your job is helping that person, helping them prepare to speak on your behalf. And I want you to think of the first round in the thrash out. There's 3 rounds as opening remarks, right? If we're talking about a court case, a lawyer doesn't give all their evidence away in opening remarks. They're going to preview what's coming. They might say something to kind of get the jury like interested and intrigued, but they're really just going to preview what's coming and assert that claim. So that's your job, right? The quick round robin, pick a speaker and help that speaker prepare to make your opening remarks with a very clear claim. And speaker, you have only 60 seconds. Okay. Any questions? So if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead and open 2 breakout rooms. The first one is going to be the Scout, the Spy. And I'll name them so we don't get them mixed up. And the second one is going to be the caregiver. So educators, rooms are open. I will close the rooms 4 minutes in. Please feel free to take that last minute to wrap up your conversations. And if you have any questions, you can call me into the rooms as well. I'll see you shortly. All right, educators, welcome back. We're going to officially start round 1 of this thrash out. I believe Heather is the speaker for the caregiver room. Who's the speaker for the Civil War Scout Spy room?
I am.
Okay, perfect, Sarah. So I'm going to go ahead and have Heather start. And then Sarah, when she's done, it'll be you. So Heather and Sarah, you have a full minute. Feel free to take the full minute. I'll try to wave when your minute is getting close to being done. When we're doing this in the classroom, by the way, I have some rules for my kids on etiquette, like look at the speaker, make appropriate eye contact, don't interrupt them, all those things that, we talk about. So yeah, with that said, Heather, you are up, ma'am.
All right, so talking about Harriet Tubman being a caregiver, this is definitely one of her greatest achievements. Looking at both documents, the fact that, again, it comes back to people first for her. She was always very much doing whatever she can to help people. And whether it was, being a spy for the Union and trying to encourage people to, give them that little bit of extra courage to make that journey, or, in that case, crossing over to where they were in order to help them escape. And even in her later life, when she, spent so much time taking care of those who were, who were very much needy, who were suffering, going through any kind of ailment and stuff, and being able just to take care of them and give them a little bit of comfort, whatever she could do. really demonstrates, her character as well, her character and her strength of trying to give whatever she can back to people, whoever needs it the most.
Very nice. I heard character, I heard people first. Very nice. All right, Sarah, whenever you are ready.
Okay, hi. Sorry again, you may hear my kids in the background, but I have two littles that are under 3. So, we focused on her being asked by the governor specifically. So for her, a Black woman to be asked by the governor to be a spy, that means that they knew that she would have resilience, that they could trust her, and that she could really impact the people around her. We also had a talk about the impact that she made. So for her impact, there was 800 people that she was able to save. And 100 of those people were then recruited into the army. So with those people, they also impacted other people. And so it's kind of like a domino effect. You have just that one person, which might not seem like a big deal, but then that one person will impact all the people around them. And so we really kind of focused on the impact of the war, and again, how for her to be asked this by the governor specifically shows kind of a test to her character.
Thanks, Sarah. I heard character, I heard testament, and I gotta give you kudos for doing this with your little ones at home. I have one girl, and I don't know, my yes.
Thank you. Luckily, my
Thank you.
husband's here and he's corralling the kids right now. So
well, thank you for your commitment to your content and your craft, Sarah. So when I do this with the kids, at this point, when we finish round 1, we've done the other buckets too. I give them the option to move. And the idea there is as you learn new things, it's okay to change your mind. So round 1, educators, real basic, like preview what's coming and share your claim. Now we're going to go into round 2. So educators, we're only going to spend about 3 minutes in this round because I think you guys get it. And what I want you to do for the second round is choose a new speaker. So Sarah and Heather's off the hook. And this time you need to be heavy with your evidence. So now you made your opening remarks. Now you need to produce the best evidence to back up that claim. As you can see in the slide, consider the most effective evidence, consider that word choice, right? Not every piece of evidence is good. Some's better than the others, and you only have 1 minute. So again, this time it's time for you to bring the evidence in to support your claim. I always tell my kids too, right? It's not just trying to get people to think about the evidence, but it's also to reason with it. Well, what does that mean? So don't just speak to the brain, speak to the heart when you're getting that evidence out too, okay? One last thing I wanna show you before you go into the breakout room is in that, you don't have to use this by the way, but this is just something for you to have. In that active agenda, I gave you all something called this discussion sentence starters. I love, it's from Common Lit, it's free. But they're just great sentence starters to enter in a conversation, provide examples, evidence, and also later when they're building and challenging and getting into their counter arguments, they're just cordial ways to start their conversation. So again, just something that I thought might be a useful resource for you. So with that said, I'm opening the breakout rooms back up, and I will see you all in 3 minutes. All right, educators, welcome back. So we're just going to go ahead and wrap up round 2. Since Heather went first, Stacy, you can go last this time. Who's our speaker for the first breakout room for the scout/spy?
I'll be the speaker.
Thanks, Timothy. Whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, so what we had talked about is we are focusing especially on impact and how we're defining impact first by the number of people influenced. So talking about 800 people impacted, but one of the things that the document stated that we thought was really powerful is it stated 800 people impacted that we know of that day. So those two words, that day, indicates that there are a lot more people that have been impacted by her actions and her bravery, and that those actions were incredibly risky, because being a Black woman behind the lines in South Carolina, leading a team of spies, is incredibly risky. And then also another thing regarding impact and number of people, taking 100 men to the recruiting office is also shows a tremendous impact of her leadership.
Fantastic. Thank you. Stacy, you are up.
Helps if I unmute myself.
You're good.
Yeah, we kind of looked at the numbers too and how many people she impact. It says 6 to 8 people in her care. It doesn't say if it was per month, per week, per year. So it's a pretty significant number. We also noticed that she, it was very specific that she helped the people who needed help the most. The aged, the ones that were deserted, the blind, the paralyzed, the ones that others would probably turn away because they weren't full able-bodied. So she took all of these other disabled or ones that really needed help into her care and just helped them all out. She was about helping everyone. At one point, we also tied our document E into document C, and that she was a caregiver all the way around. Because even when she was a spy, she was still caring for those 800 people on top of what she did after the Civil War.
Awesome, Stacy. Thank you. Yeah, she was also that nurse behind the enemy lines too, right? And 48 years of work as a caregiver. So fantastic. Again, if we were in the classroom with some kiddos, I would ask them, hey, based on what you heard from your, your classmates, have you changed your mind? It's okay to move. So for the sake of time, educators, we're not going to get into round 3, but round 3 is always the most fun because this is the chance for them to go ahead and start making their rebuttals. They've heard things from the other sides. Now this is a chance for you to refute it, acknowledge what they heard, things like that, and make their final remarks. And again, the students can move when this is all done. So this activity, if you're doing this in the classroom, you can have the 4 buckets posted in 4 corners, the kids out of their seats, which gets them, moving, which I appreciate. It takes about 30 minutes to do in a classroom, in addition to document analysis. So my question to you is this. How does that doing a thrash out, right? Taking this 30 minutes out of your class time enhance not only the writing process, but the writing product? Feel free to put it in the chat or unmute yourself. This will be our final reflection question. How does doing an activity like this enhance the writing process and the writing product?
I'll take the microphone.
Yeah, go for it, Heather.
I mean, just the process of talking about your ideas and your thoughts out loud, like that is a great way to kind of organize and get, kind of just hash out some ideas of, what you want to talk about, the pros and cons. That definitely help develop the ideas that they have. Because it really helps to have, someone as a sounding board to kind of bounce those ideas off of.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when that happens, you're going to get some better papers too, that are a little easier to grade. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Imali, I think that one of the difficult parts of writing is a lot of students and adults too have difficulty with knowing how to start, right? So I think that this really helps them to start. It's okay, just brainstorm ideas, look at documents, talk about them, get other ideas, from that dialogue. And so I think that helps with the writer's block and the fear of getting started.
Yes, Timothy, and that's a great point. Giving them that blank sheet of paper and saying go. That's very scary for some kids. And here, you're literally speaking your essay before you write it.
Yeah,
Great point.
I think it's scary for everybody looking at a blank sheet of paper and thinking, where do I begin? How do I begin? And I think that this process really gets things moving quickly and safely, and it's really engaging.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. So I want to respect your time since it's the end of our time together. So let me just kind of talk to you about if you want to go deeper in that active agenda I gave you. There is a recording of a thrash out done by some kids on the Harriet Tubman DBQ, but there's also conversations on what you could do if this is not a two-sided issue. Like if you have a question like, how does the Constitution guard against tyranny? Well, how do you thrash out on that? So feel free to check out those resources on the active agenda. And educators, once again, I want to say thank you so much for your time and your commitment. Honestly, like, you know, it's evening, it's a Monday after the holiday weekend. So thank you for all that you do for our kids. And don't forget to fill out the Google form for your sketch credits. And again, check out that video on what's new at DBQ. We have tons of great things happening, including free PD this summer. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me an email, okay? Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful night and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.